feel like a star, but only strictly where I'm famous. I'm in this for the longest haul, like we'll see where it takes us. I'm throwing back these double shots like whiskey here is weightless. Cause this career I chose was even riskier than Vegas, yo.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Colby Rebel Show. I am your host, Colby Rebel, where my goal is to make that connection or answer that question. So be sure to join us, leave your comment, your question. What is it you would like answered tonight? And I will do my best to get to as many of you as I possibly can. So, we're really at the end of the Mercury retrograde. So I hope many of you are getting more balance back into your life. As you know, Mercury can really create some challenges with us in regards to communication, outreach, really having that clarity. But it also can really help us purge and get in deep and really dive deep into the difficult topics, the difficult situations, the difficult relationships that we can all encounter and face in our lives. So, with that, we come out on the other side and know that we have gotten through it. Now, where is your life? Where are you? And of course, you may be having some questions, things you want some clarity on. Maybe you're missing a loved one. So we will absolutely do as much as we can to take care of that tonight. We do have some incredible events. So one of the ones I'm just so excited about is this Sunday, believe it or not. It is expanding your mediumship workshop. And what I am so excited about is it is in LA. This is an in-person workshop. Can you even imagine the thought, once again, to have something in person? But we're really going to gather for a day to help you dive in deep to your spiritual gifts, your psychic, your mediumship gifts. And so we really only have a couple spaces left. So if you are interested, please grab your ticket. I don't want you to miss out. Another event coming up is June 6th. This is my pet messages. I love giving messages to your fur babies. So May Mutts and More is Wednesday, June 7th. And this is a really great opportunity to connect to your fur baby, whether they're in the living or in the spirit realm. And our pets really can communicate. I'm sure many of you recognize that with a look in their eye or their body language. But when I connect to them, I can actually hear them as a voice. What are they saying? What are they showing me? What is it they want to say to you? So this is going to be a lot of fun. Come join me. And one last thing I want to kind of talk about is the spiritual business mentoring, because many of us, know that we have a different purpose. There's something else we want to do, and we're really afraid or not sure of those next steps. So the spiritual business mentoring is really a way for us to gain that insight. Where is it you're looking to do? Do you want to hone in on your services? Maybe take it more online? Things like that. So we work on a whole array of topics. So you will want to join me for that. That starts June 8th. Okay. So let us start with some questions, some connections. Let's just take care of business here. Let's say hello to Nicole. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Colby. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, hon?
I'm pretty good.
Good. What can I do for you tonight?
So I have a question. I am in school and I'm about to finish with my associate's degree, and I'm a little confused about which pathway I should take. Should I keep going and go for social work, or should I go a different route?
Oh, this is a really tough one. But it feels, in all honesty, I feel like you might have outgrown the social worker path. It's interesting because I think that was something that got you into working with people and helping people and kind of taking them on a journey. But it's like it's something where I feel like there's a little bit of a where it's a little bit more hands-on. There's a little bit more of a coaching feel with you, maybe therapy, consulting, that sort of thing, counseling. So it feels like there's a little bit more of a direction that I see you going with. And I wouldn't even be surprised if you decide to explore your spiritual gifts as well, Nicole, because I'm sure you realize you're very spiritual and intuitive and get a lot of messages. So I could even see you working with your own gifts in a professional capacity if that's what you want. So, I feel like the idea of you helping, you serving, all that still feels really in alignment. I don't want you run off and go do marketing.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you go to med school, unless it's something you really want. I feel like you're very much helping people. Okay. So, can I ask if there was another path that you were thinking about or something you were like, oh, I want to be this?
I was maybe looking at either substance abuse counselor or early childhood education.
Great. I'd love, both are really powerful and both are unbelievably helpful. But I do feel like the counseling is something I think is going to be a lot more rewarding for you.
Hmm.
So, and I feel like it's something, so it's interesting too, because even if you do decide on the early education, you know, you could work with avoidance of substance too. That could kind of maybe be more of helping young people understand the dangers and things like that. So it's interesting to see both sides of that.
Mhm.
But you have I don't do a lot of past life stuff, but I can just feel like there's a lot of past life where there's been a lot of trauma and there's been a lot of like diving deep and you work on that. Like I can feel like you're in such a space that you've really worked on yourself in a lot of different ways. And I think from past lives to this one as well. And so I feel like a career path where you have an opportunity to pay that forward to help others. I think that that's going to be something that is absolutely going to be the most rewarding.
Okay.
So I hope that helps you.
Yes, that did.
Good, good. Well, good luck on your journey and your path. I don't want you to think that there's a wrong path. I mean, whatever you choose, just know that the universe is guiding you anyway, because there's something about that path that leads you to the next step, the next journey that you are meant to be on anyway. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Lots of love to you, hun.
Thank you.
Okay. We love that. Sometimes it's hard to kind of know where you're meant to be. We start to kind of get into something. We're like, is this it? Am I more? Is it less? So it's a great question for her. So let us bring in Natalie here.
Hi, Colby.
Hi, Natalie. How are you?
I'm doing really good.
Good. What can I do for you tonight?
Well, love has been very fleeting for me, and I have been single for 6 years. So, do you see anything coming my way?
Okay. Well, let's see. It is interesting too, because I feel like in that 6 years, you've really gone inward a lot as well. It's kind of interesting, a little bit like our Nicole was, you've really gone inward and did a lot of work inwardly. I feel like figuring out who you are, who you want. Like, I feel like you're so in tune with the kind of partner you want. So we just haven't had the universe align.
Right?
Um, but I feel so promising about it. I really feel like it's coming in. And I feel like it's two things too, is A, you are so much more clear. A lot of boundaries, which is great. I feel like you've really worked on the boundaries of like, you know what, I'm tired of this kind of person. I'm tired of the toxic relationships. I'm tired of the narcissist coming in. Like, I'm ready. And so I think just having those boundaries. So what happens is we've had some of that in the past. Am I correct? So what happens is you've reestablished those boundaries. You just told the universe, like, hey, this is who I want. Like, so whether you realize it or you're not, you said, hey, don't bring in someone who isn't meeting the qualifications and the traits that I'm looking for in my partner. So it did take some waiting time because we had to kind of change out that energy of who you were attracting in the past or who was stepping in. Now I feel like you feel so much more empowered than I feel like you have felt in a really long time. So I feel like that relationship is really coming in for you, and it's going to be really beautiful and strong. And it's nice too because now you have your voice. So I feel like you're unapologetic about saying, "Hey, this upset me," or we need to have a conversation about that. And so some of the fleeting kind of things that have kind of come in, they weren't in it for the long haul. They weren't going to really be able to be there to show up for you the way you need and the way you deserve. But I feel like it's absolutely coming in. And I would say, I feel like if you're kind of really out there and you're really open and really doing your part the way you have been, I feel like it could absolutely come in this year for you.
Oh, great. That would be
Yeah.
excellent. I'm ready.
It feels good. Yeah. It's also, I'm kind of curious though, because I keep feeling like you had some responsibility. So do you happen to have kids, Natalie? Or, uh,
I live with an ex-boyfriend who I take care of, but we're not in a relationship. We haven't been in a relationship for 6 years, but I do take care of him.
okay.
He's kind of he's on drugs, so he can't take care of himself.
So I think just kind of looking at that level of responsibility,
Mhm.
because I feel like that level of responsibility does impact you and it impacts your energy and it impacts your manifestation of where the universe wants to lead you. Okay. So
Okay.
maybe just gonna start looking at is there anything in that relationship that you could be doing differently? Is there anything that would kind of just taking a look to say, okay, what can I do to make sure that, yes, I'm helping this person because we
Mhm.
have a soul contract and I'm willing to do that. But I also need to make sure that I don't continue to have my life on pause either. So
Sure.
just being able to kind of go, I must live and I must be able to do. And working it out so that that person also is responsible for themselves and responsible for their own care as much and kind of calling that in as well. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause it really felt like you were taking care of a kid. So there has to be a lot to it where,
He is like a child.
yeah. So, and I
Definitely.
feel like, I feel like they will continue to do so as long as you're there in the same capacity that you have been.
Yeah.
So just
Okay.
to think about just for yourself, what can you do a little differently that will just kind of make sure you are freeing yourself up for that person to kind of come in and build that nice solid relationship for you, okay?
Okay. I just hope they don't feel threatened that he's here. It's more of a friendship at this point than a
Yeah, I
relationship.
think just being open and honest about that, I feel
Okay.
like just being open and honest with
Mhm.
when that you meet. Just
Okay.
this is the situation and this is where I am, but we do not have a romantic tie and hoping
Mm.
that you can kind of get that through to the person and so that they understand.
Yeah. I would think they would not feel threatened by this at all.
Well, I mean, I think it just depends, right? It's
Yeah.
necessarily if someone feels threatened, but it can sound as if there would be drama or baggage or so we would want to make sure that it's clear like, hey, that we don't have drama or there's, how much are you going to be able to be there for that new partner? And I think, right, just look at yourself. If the role was reversed and you're getting into something new, you want to make sure that that person is going to be able to be there for you and
Mm.
to show up for you and to grow with you and to really have those moments and that deep conversation and those experiences. So I think just making sure that you are open and verbal that you are in that space. And if you are not in that space, then look to see what you can do, what self work can be done to get you into that space for that relationship.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
you did a lot of work. So I think, yeah, I think you're right. This year might be my year.
I feel like you can do this and I feel like they're coming in and I feel like I feel like you are going to bring in someone very empathic. So I think that that's actually going to help a lot. Good luck. And I can't wait to hear all about them. You're
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
welcome. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Okay, here we go. I love this. Let's see if Lisa is on. So, Lisa, if you are able to see this and connect, make sure you leave in the comments to help us out. you want to connect with your daughter and her sister's graduating from college. Well, congratulations to your daughter graduating from college. That's wonderful. It's interesting too. I feel like these sisters may have been close in age. So I'm not sure if that's accurate, but make sure you let me know. But I feel like they were close in age. And I really get the sense where your daughter in the spirit, very very strong. I think strong-willed is a big sense, but very close. You get it. Okay. I feel like the one in spirit makes me feel very strong-willed and very always determined. Like I think when she put her mind to something, that was it. No one could really convince her otherwise. And almost that sense of being front runner. I don't think she was afraid of attention. I don't think she was afraid of speaking. Very powerful. I mean, she's got a lot of energy and very, very powerful. And she is such a driving force on the other side, which is also really neat. So very, very strong driving force I feel around her as well. And I also get the sense where for her, there was a lot of energy. So I feel like she was always moving, maybe dancing or singing or always just kind of moving around is the sense I get from her as well. And I keep feeling a little bit of almost like a little bit of a wild side with her. So when I say wild side, let's see what that means. It's just a sense of maybe not being afraid to the first to do something, the first to step out, maybe leading a group, leading her team, that sort of thing. So she really gives me the essence and the sense of being, she's my wild child. There you go. Giving me the sense. It's funny. She keeps showing me hair, and I can't tell. Like, I see. I'm wondering if I see one with like nice, longer hair, and then one with kind of colors or crazy hairstyle. So it's kind of interesting. I'm wondering if one sister had one type of hairstyle and the other one had the other, or she showed me changes of her hairstyle. But I'm wondering if she ever colored her hair or something a little wild in the color, if you can connect to that at all. But there's something about hair that she keeps giving me. Long, beautiful hair. Okay, great. It's interesting where I feel like with her, it's so much about using your voice or her using her voice. I feel like there's a big sense of that, using her voice. And I feel like her sister, she really wants to kind of tell her, always use your voice. Don't be afraid to use your voice and don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. And she definitely gives me a sense of being very, very proud also. And I just feel like an enormous sense of protectiveness around the sister. So she gives me an enormous sense of like wanting to protect her sis, wanting to be there for her sis. And I also get the feeling with her that she gives me the sense that she had a pretty quick passing. So I feel like as well, there's a feeling of almost maybe we didn't get a chance to say everything. We didn't get a chance to kind of have that closure, so to speak. So she really just kind of shares like to let everyone know that she's been on a path too. They did everything together. Yes, car accident. Sorry about that, honey. But she gives me the feeling where she's been so close to your daughter even now and so close around her and with her. Can you take an S name for someone in the living or in spirit, like a Stephanie or a Stacy? Is there an S at all? Maybe one of their friends or a connection? Let me know if that name kind of rings a bell. Because I keep getting an S and I feel like it's a female name and I feel like it's a Stephanie or a Stacy or something like that. So let me know if you can take that for her in the living or in spirit. Oh, she called her sis. Yeah, I feel like it's an actual name, not just sis. I'd love to take that though. I would, but I keep getting the feeling with your daughter, and there's an M name as well. So I don't know if we're looking at a Melody, but I feel like there's an M name as well. And again, this could be one of their friends or someone else connected to them, but I keep getting an M and then an S, okay? But I keep seeing with your daughter in spirit, she keeps really showing me. It's interesting. She shows me shoes tied with the shoelaces. So I don't know if you have those hanging somewhere, or you can connect to some sneakers that are tied with shoelaces. So she shows me that picture. Oh, her sister's name is Maddie. Okay, good. We got Miss Maddie. There we go. Wonderful. And I just see with her, I feel like it's interesting too, really quick. Would you understand Maddie? I feel like wearing a bracelet that was her sister's, or having a bracelet from her sister. There's something that gives me a feeling tying in around the wrists. Okay. So there is something around that. Okay. And yes. Okay, good. Yes to the bracelet. Do we understand the bracelet? Yes to the bracelet or the sneakers, but let us know. But I just see with her, I feel like with a bracelet and necklace. Okay, great. So I feel like with Maddie, just let Maddie know that her sister really rallies behind her. She really is behind her. She really rallies around her. And I feel like Maddie is definitely going to be doing something where she's fighting for people or helping people, or something where it's definitely about using a voice, taking a stand with things. So I see that around for Maddie. It'd be interesting to see if Maddie's going to go to law school. um, but it'd be interesting to see what she's going to end up doing. But I do feel like her sister is with her and rallying right around her. And she sends you guys all her love, and know that she is just as vivacious as always. And I know obviously it's so difficult. She shows me red roses, Lisa. So I feel like maybe you have some roses that may have, either you recently put down some red roses, or you have red roses from her viewing or service, or there's something with red roses. But I almost feel like the red roses may be dried or pressed. Maybe there's something from our prom. I'm not sure, but it'd be interesting to see if you can connect dried from the services. Okay, great. So she knows. She just gave me goosies. She knows that you still have those, Mom. She knows that you kept those. And I'll tell you what, someone I feel like sang at this service, because she made me feel like it was like an angel voice. So I feel like she said that it just filled the room, and it was so beautiful. And I also feel like you showed a slideshow, or maybe something with her friends, like a slideshow, I feel like was also done. So, but she gives me the sense of being there and loving this. And she really thought it was so beautiful. She's so cute, because she's like, slideshow with friends. There we go. But she's so cute, and she's so funny, because she's like, okay, no, no, no. She goes, okay, but yeah, yeah, yeah. So trust me, she definitely wasn't shy of attention. So just know that. And there's a lot of love. She gives me the month of May. I feel like May may be significant. So maybe that's a birthday or celebration, or perhaps the month of the passing, but I feel like May may be significant. So, because I just heard that ever so quickly. But I do know that she steps forward with this overwhelming sense. Like it's just knows like this big rainbow. I feel like she shows me the biggest rainbow, and to know that that rainbow is her sign. That rainbow is her sign to let you know that she is with you and that she is around you. So I will leave that with you, and thank you so much. Okay. Okay, everybody. Let's see. Let's see what we have here. We've got, oh my goodness, so much here. Is there any spirits that protect me? I feel like there is. Absolutely, Kimberly. To me, the first person that stepped in is to me, I feels like there's a very strong male presence around you. There's a male, he gives me the sense of protection. So this may be a father for you. Could be a spouse, but it feels kind of fatherly. So I feel like there may be a father for you on the other side. He gives me a very strong sense of watching over, taking care of you. And it really is a sense to where okay, so we've got a few. So your father, brother, and nephew. It gives me the feeling that this would be dad for you, okay? And I get the sense around him where it's a lot of not big talking, not big movements, but enough to kind of just be very stoic and strong. Okay. I was close to all of them. Yeah. But this is dad for sure because it's like, you don't mess with my family kind of a feeling I'm getting from him. And I just feel like he just kind of walks by you just to kind of, you're there for so many people, Kimberly. I feel like you're there for a lot of family members. You help a lot of people. And so I feel like, you know, it is very much there. Truck driver. It's funny. I was getting it's interesting because I wonder if your dad carried a gun or a rifle on his road because I was seeing a man in a plaid shirt with jeans and a gun. So I was like, "Oh my." So it'd be interesting to see if that connects and maybe oh yes. And she's like, "Oh yeah, Colby. Yeah, of course." But that's what and cowboy, but yes, yes. So this is him for sure. But he gives me and it's interesting too. I wonder if anybody called I just heard Mac. So I don't know if anybody had a nickname for him or they called him Mac or something like this, but that would be interesting to see. Or let me know if that connects for someone else. But it'd be interesting to know if someone the name like a Mac kind of gives me the sense of that. So that'd be interesting to see if that name ties as well. But the thing with your dad gives me a feeling. I said maybe he drove a Mack truck. No, I think it's I do feel like it's more of a name. So we'll see if someone else can go. Yeah, I think this is what it is. The one thing is I feel like he just wish maybe he had taken better care of his health. Like I feel like maybe he wasn't in a place that he was able to, or maybe because he was on the road. I'm not sure, but I feel like he would have some health issues. So I feel like if anything, he just wished that he had been able to take care more of his health. So, but just know that he is so fine on the other side. He's got his son. He's got his grandson. Like he just is feeling really great. He gives me a sense of feeling high and mighty on life. So just know that. And it is interesting. 4 packs of cigarettes. Yeah. See, look at this. 10 years, but I think it's still impacted. So it's great that he was able to quit, but I feel like that did impact his health. But I also feel like there's a real fun loving side to him. So he gives me a lot of fun. Yeah, see, you just said funny. Right when I was saying it. He gives me a really sense of just kind of loved it. Loved kind of loved connecting to people, talking to people. I think even on his trips, people really adored him, loved him. So just know that. And I feel like he just kind of comes forward with a lot of love and just know that he is the one protecting you. All right. So I'll leave you with that. Okay. All righty. Here we go. Oh my goodness. So many here. Let's see. We've got, thank you, everyone. Here we go. Hi, Stephen. Nice to see you. Okay, here we go. My late grandmother's birthday, never met her and been told she is a spirit guide. Up there with my late parents. Any messages would be greatly appreciated. Oh, wonderful. One of the things, Mary Ann, is a beautiful sense that there is a very, very soul connection that you do have with this grandmother. And what's also interesting is I feel like, there's a lot of similarities between you and her as well. And it's unfortunate that you didn't get a chance to meet her in the living, but I do know that you can create an absolute connection with her in the spirit realm. Just start kind of sending out thoughts and feelings and expression and know that you can start making that connection and feeling. I get a sense from her, a very strong sense of pride from where she is from, like a strong sense of connection either to her heritage, to her land. There's something very much there that gives me a sense of a lot of pride that she has. Also, Marianne, which I think is really super interesting, is you have a very, very strong sense as well to the other side. So I'm not sure if you've explored that or you've worked with that, but I feel like she did as well. And so that to me is a connector for the two of you. It'd be interesting to see if you play with cards or you have some tarot or oracle or anything. Heritage Pride. Oh, Ireland. There we go. Love it. So there we go. And I just know that with her, there is this real strong sense of her coming in. Yes, I'm dabbling in oracle cards. Just now, I think she's right around you. And it's funny too, because she would have been a little worried about spells or negative energy, or I think she's got a little bit of that in her. But just know that she's around you, watching you, making sure that you are protected as you are using and dabbling in the energy of the oracle cards, which is really kind of wonderful. And since she's very, very practical woman, very, very practical. She also shows me beads. So I'm wondering if you happen to have a string of beads or a bead necklace that was hers or your mother's. There's a sense where she gives me it looks like it's a string of beads. So she brings forward that as well. And you said, I know we have Marianne. Can you also take an Elizabeth in the family or in the living or in spirit, maybe a Beth or an Elizabeth or something like that? So you have your late mom's beads. Good. So mom knows you have them. Okay. So just know that mom knows that you have them. And I just feel like with all of this, there is a sense where she is letting you know that she's with you, but she's also taking care of the family, right? So they are really rejoined and coming together, and she is, feeling really wonderful that they're all together and just giving you a lot of love and a lot of hugs and just really working on reassuring you that you are very much supported and know that you are supported. And I know the journey can feel a little lonely at times, but I feel like there is a connection and a sense of letting you know that they are very much with you and you always have family. Okay, so I'll leave that with you, honey. Okay, there we go. I love, see there. Just know that she is with you all the time. Okay. Okay, so Christopher, my late brother's birthday is coming up and it'd be the first year since he's passed. I was looking to hear any signs from him. Oh, well, Christopher, I can feel, I will say just I am so sorry for your loss only because I can really feel how much this loss really pains you. And gosh, what a strong guy. You know what I mean? What a strong guy. It's just like a sense of he gives me a sense of there's power to him. There's strength to him as well. And goofiness. Like it's not necessarily like tough guy, but just there's a sense of like not caring what people thought. He was gonna do what he needed to do, but he's also extremely protective, a lot of fun, a lot of laughs and a lot of sense of shenanigans, goofiness. I think he'd love to just kind of mess around. I feel like he'd love to just get people to roll around laughing. You know what I mean? So there's a strong sense of that with him. I feel like the passing was extremely sudden, very unexpected. We just, it's unfortunate because I feel like it just shattered so many people at once, because it's like he's so full of life. He's so full of laugh. He's so full of energy that I think he'd be the last person we would think anything was going to happen to, invincible. And so I know that, but I also know he lets me know that he is on the other side with a male that I feel like feels like a grandfather for him. So I believe you may have a grandfather on the other side, and he lets me know he's with him. Making and the grandfather would have been a little strict. So he's back. Your brother's on the straight and narrow these days. You know what I mean? On the straight and narrow. But he just comes forward and he lets you know that he loves you. He does this. He points to his chest. It'd be interesting to see if you end up if you or him had a tattoo over the heart, or if you have a tattoo of a heart or a tattoo over the heart, tattoo on the chest. let me know. But because he did this, so it just gives me a sense of brother love. I love you. I'm with you. Not to be afraid and not to be alone. And it's interesting, Christopher. Do you mind if I ask if I wonder if you just got a tattoo for him? Well, he knows you did, honey. I'm curious. Would you happen to have been a pallbearer for him? He showed me in a really nice suit outfit, and I thought it was a wedding, but then I saw a picture of pallbearer. So he just gives me a feeling of knowing you were there. So I'm trying to figure out, was that a wedding you were at, or was it the funeral of the pallbearer or something like this? But he gives me like a strong sense of love for you around that, and a strong sense of connection, and just knowing that he was there with you and he was watching over you. So I do want to kind of give that to you and share that with you. Okay. So just know that your bro is with you. He's got you. He's taking care of you. And I know it's very difficult. I know it's very difficult to not have him in the physical. But just know that, he is just one conversation away, literally. Okay. So don't be afraid to kind of talk to him or reach out to him. I do want to give you the sign of feathers. I feel like feathers are going to be a sign from him, and birds, but not rinky dink little birds. I mean, he's showing me big birds, like big hawks. So I feel like it's going to be big wings for you. So lots of love to you, and thank you guys for being here. All right, everybody, that is the end of this episode of the Colby Rebel Show, and I'm so happy that you tuned in and joined me, and I want to thank you guys so much for joining me, for being here, and lots of love to you. Remember to tune in every Thursday night, 5 p.m. You may get a chance. Keep an eye. Make sure you're following my professional Facebook. Follow that. Be a part of it, because you'll see that I'm posting this saying, hey, does anyone want a reading? I'm calling you at random, and you may get an opportunity to be on camera with me as we do these episodes. So go to the Facebook page, make sure you're liking it, following it, being a part of it. And thank you guys so much, and have a gorgeous night. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Colby Rebel Show. Be sure to follow Colby on social media at Psychic Rebel. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, please head on over to iTunes to leave a review to help Colby grow the tribe. Colby is an international psychic medium, teacher, best-selling author, and speaker. She is a master teacher of the Lisa Williams International School of Spiritual Development and is the owner of the Colby Rebel Spirit Center in Los Angeles. Visit colbyrebel.com.